I wonder what trauma he has. It doesn't sound tasty. Why we just heard the voice? I just got cheese. I don't know why. Who in their like senses would like put guillotine like this? Clearly beheaded before. Red! It's truth! Oh my god, this is amazing. So the day when she died is the day of Wrath? Okay, so she's crazy, beautiful lady. I thought it was a job. He's turning to butler. So let's make a quick theory. Hello and welcome, Pocket Watch here, and it's about time for another episode of Yes, I hope your desire to watch this episode is as high as mine to read this. So, thank you for all your comments under the episodes. Seems like you like the series, and I'm glad. So, first of all, the essays are back. I miss them. That's like, thank you. Like, the essays like that are amazing. Like, this is like bunch of condensed bunch of like info, trivia, extra details and stuff. I love reading this, so thank you for your effort. This is definitely worth it. And also thank you for letting me know what the Rip Van Winkle is, because I never heard about the story, and apparently it's about the guy who fell asleep. Like, this is a very old story about someone who fell asleep and woke up 20 years later, and it sounds like it's some kind of like predecessor of like the trope that's nowadays in like animes, movies, and books. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I think with that we can go to the next episode. So leave up a like if you like the episode, dislike if you dislike it. If you're not subscribed, please do so. And yeah, we can go to the next episode. Let's do this. Let's see. Oh, right, one more thing about the... First of all, let's change resolution to have like our non-cropped CGs. First of all, I will leave the black borders because I had some discussions on Discord as well about this, and I can agree with the comments that it looks weird and it's kind of like... You know, if you have like CG and stuff next to this, you cannot really focus on what's really important. And on Inganok, it as well looked kind of weird, so I can see from where this is going. Also about the new game and me not being unable to choose the road, because that was also the concern that you guys had. I've checked like some info, and apparently the patch for free resolution actually fixing the game. Like, the Steam version or the new version of the Desire have this like choice selection, like which road you want to go, and people were playing in a weird way that's not intended, and they were mad and angry because the story just got convoluted and make no sense. And the original Desire had like locked roads, and it was played in the intentional order, how it's supposed to read. And it seems like patch 4.3 resolution not only gives us the old resolution that gives us full CG, but also locking the roads into the proper order. So I think we're ready to go. So yeah, it seems like that's the case. Let's go, let's do this. Our Riddle Museum date that we are kind of forced to do. Kasumi muttered in a exaberation while looking at the Nepalese knife known as kuhuri. I don't think I heard that. Do I see this in the background? Huh. I don't think I heard that. Or so. I couldn't help having a sour look on my face. The mere sight of these nice kind of blades had made me nauseous for as long as I could remember. Okay. Why? Why did she take me here in the first place? She knew full well I wasn't good with the sharp objects. Funny thing, in the trailer you have like scythe like from your elbow. What an irony.
情けないな。別に噛みついてきたりしないのに。
I wonder what trauma he has. Because it must be some kind of trauma.
なんでつわれても
Also, apparently, I shouldn't like think too much about this because obviously it's not like Muramasa. It's more like Shonen. So yeah. But still, making Furious is fun, so I would just talk less, I guess. Sometimes, maybe, I don't know. And I forgot water, I got only coffee, fuck. Her tone was genuinely curious. Unfortunately, this wasn't something I had a clear answer for.
お前毛虫嫌いなのに理由があるか？
毛虫かわいいじゃん。なんかけなげで。
じゃあゴキブリは？
見つけたら叩いて潰すね。
Great, and she said that with a smile on face.
ならヘビとかは？
巻きつけると気持ちよくない？ひんやりしててさ。
They're cold-blooded and all. I mean, probably, maybe, I don't know, I never had a snake. You can let me know in the comments. Did you like ever had like a pet snake, or you maybe have one? If you do, then let me know like what kind of snake, because there's a lot of them. Like, I probably could not having like, for example, pet spider. Probably I wouldn't be able to like handle it or anything, but I enjoy videos on them. Like, I like the tarantulas and stuff, like watching like YouTube videos with them. They're so freaking amazing. But I doubt I would be able to like handle them by myself, you know? Wonderful. I suppose I was wrong to accept a girlish response out of Kasumi in the first place.
なんか言った？
Nah, nothing.
気にするな。
Yeah. Whatever the case, these things just didn't sit well with me. Little Miss Kendo over there might have found the blades endlessly fascinating, but I was definitely not having a good time.
もう一通り回ったし、そろそろいいだろ。帰
つまんないよ。デートでしょ？
You are on the fourth date. I mean, it's still a date, but...
お前俺とデートしても楽しくないだろ。
Yeah.
それはあんたの態度次第ね。
She was telling me this.
俺の態度は昔からこんなだろ。病み上がりなんだし、高いハードル持ってくるな。
Yeah, and you put me in the place with full of blades, which I don't like.
ほんとしょうがないな。
Kasumi had a deep sigh. I was beginning to think that she actually understood, but...
じゃあ最後にもう一回りして帰ろうか。
Okay. Oh, and you... Yeah, this is everything in the essay. Yeah, I don't want to like speak about every single thing in the essay. That will take too long. No, of course she didn't. And so, we ended up taking one more lap around the museum. I did find the best to avoid looking directly at any blades on display. I wasn't sure I could really explain exactly why I had this thing against blades. But it wasn't because I felt scared of them. Also, people have two names in this game, so I need to like deal with this. Maybe they just weren't compatible with me. I don't want to have anything to do with them, period. What an irony. It's just like that. It just felt like mixing Ren Fuji and bladed weapons was a bad idea. Like putting ketchup on a donut. Yeah. That doesn't sound tasty. Keeping my distance was the smart move. I wanted to maintain the pace and the harmony in my life. In a way, they almost remind me of Shiro. Yeah. I shook my head. Reminiscing about that guy was the opposite of the productive activity. I was on a date? After all, worrying about Kasumi would be better usage of my time. Not that I had much confidence in managing that either, but it would be the polite thing to do. What? What was that?
Oh.
Huh?
何？どうかした？
Why we just heard the voice?
いや、
I could have sworn I heard something. Was it just my imagination? So I really was hearing a voice coming from somewhere.
レン？
Shh! I hear voices. Don't question that. I strained my ears. The museum was quiet enough That should have been easy to make the out voice I heard, assuming it was my imagination. Muder? It was coming from this direction.
ちょっと待ってよ。どこ行くの？
Sorry, someone is like speaking directly to me, it seems, from some direction. That's weird. I ignored Kasumi and ran off. I wasn't quite sure myself why I felt so compelled like this. There was no clear reason to concern myself over the same voice in the distance. Either way, I found myself drawn to the spot the voice was coming from. Perhaps it would have been more accurate to say I was guided there even. I found myself in an obscure corner of the museum, the sort of place you would never come across if you were just taking the normal road, though. Normally, you wouldn't think there would even be an exhibit piece somewhere out of the way like this, and yet there it was.
Guillotine?
I just got chills, I don't know why. Boys, the justice. This is the music from the opening! When the dialogue came. Why the guillotine is speaking to us? What the fuck? I was sure everyone had heard of a guillotine, the execution device used for beheadings. This exhibit wasn't an entire guillotine though, just the blade used for the beheading itself. Is the boys the justice like some kind of like real life reference to like... Is it like famous guillotine or something? I don't know, let me know in the comments. That would be fun to read again. Maybe it's just for the game, like random thing, but who knows. The blade before me distinguished itself from the rest of the exhibits by demonstrating a cold simplicity. There was nothing glamorous or decorative about it. It was a lamp of steel designed for the sole purpose of beheading with a ruthless efficiency. You would likely not find a more suitable tool for its task. Why was something like this even on display? It was a blade, yes, but it differed from anything else I had seen today on a fundamental level. It might have held historic value, but it wasn't a weapon or implement of some ritual. More than anything though, I wanted to know why I had found myself drawn to it. Yeah, especially that you don't like blades.
私全然気づかなかったよ。
Oh, she can see it as well. Okay, so we are not delusional. That's at least is like confirmed now. Kasumi had finally caught up with me. She took a glance at the guillotine over my shoulder.
よくこんなの見つけたね。何？ボイス。
ボワード・ジュスティス、正義の柱。ギロチンの正式名だよ。あと、フランス語な。
Oh, they actually gave me the explanation. Okay. I was thinking that they will not tell me the explanation of this. That's nice. Pillar of Justice, Boys Justice, official name for the guillotine. So basically, any guillotine is called that. I would assume like this is like the official name for the device in general.
それからマクシミリアン・ロベスピエール、知ってるだろ？18世紀の政治家だけど。
Okay, I never heard of him.
恐怖政治の？
そう、そいつに使ったものだって書いてる。
Oh, so this is just his like personal thing? Robespierre was a key figure during the French Revolution, the man responsible for sending these opposed to the regime of terror to the guillotine. Ironically, his end would come by the same device he had employed upon so many of his political opponents and the bourgeoisie. This was supposed to be from back then?
なんかうさんくさいな。信憑性はなさそうだ。
Yeah, to get to new.
でもそんな風に書かれてるとなんか嫌な感じだね。
同感だ。
Authentically aside, the idea of putting something like this on display was simply a bad taste to begin with. And also, it's dangerous as fuck. Just look at this. They just hung the guillotine in the air. Which museum would do that in this like sane sense? Imagine someone just like got like weak next to this and just fall on this and that would just like cut his head off. Or worse, some kid would be playing around. Who in their like senses would like put guillotine like this? Like seriously, that should like lying flat on ground or should be like down on the board or something. Not like hanging up. That's bad. How to put it? The whole thing felt too raw. The object on display here was a tool of execution, nothing more and nothing less. So perhaps it was only natural that
これどれくらい殺したのかな。
one would find themselves asking that question precisely because of the lack of ornament present in the other exhibits made, as nature as the implement of death apparent.
あまり不謹慎なこと考えるなよ。これは興味津々に拝むようなものじゃない。
そうだけど、そもそも見つけたのはそっちじゃない。
誰だって嫌なものには敏感なんだよ。
Rivers of blood, screams echoing in the distance, all sorts of vision of death ran through my head when looking at this thing. It wasn't often you found something that so clearly embodied the negative side, the original intent of a blade. Also, Ren, you are forgetting that you heard the voice from this direction, it seems. Given that Robespierre's name was attached to it, it had to have been from the 18th century. If it really had been used during the French Revolution, it was safe to say that it had executed hundreds of people. Some would actually describe the guillotine as the merciful form of execution. It was designed to sever a head at exactly the right angle and velocity to ensure the criminals met with a swift, painless death. An instant death delivered at lightning speed. There was a reason. Some called it merciful. It's easy to get the wrong impression from the rivers of blood and mutilated corpses the guillotine produced, but for someone facing execution, it was probably far preferable to being hanged. I guess if like the person like, I guess they had like honor and stuff like that, right? So yeah, probably. It depends on the person, I guess. Well, assuming the victim died before they had a chance to feel the pain of being decapitated, that is. I found myself thinking about exactly the sort of thing I had just told Kasumi not to.
行こう。正直気分が悪くなってきた。
Okay.
そうだね。ごめん、顔色は
That was weird.
大丈夫？
平気だよ。別に体調が悪いわけじゃ。
Before I could get the word ill out.
あなた、同じ。
The same as who? What? What was that? Is that guillotine still talking to us? I heard the voice from earlier again, more clearly than ever.
彼と同じ。あなたも同じ。
Is him? Why did I react the way I did? If only I hadn't paid attention. If only I had ignored it. If only I hadn't looked at it. If only I hadn't spun around to face the dreaded blade. Ghost? Hello? Ghost lady? Clearly beheaded before. This whole game is about like absorbing ghosts and stuff, right? Like we had this like Germany in 45 and the Nazi kid and everyone. So is it possible that like it's like that guillotine from France, it also was like absorbing souls, and it had like bunch of souls inside or something of the people it killed. Who are you? I would have never had to hear the cursed words born forth from the eternal figure standing in front of the guillotine. Can Kasumi see her? How could she have known that? What did she mean? We were the same.
一緒
Whoa!
同じあなたもなる
You will become who? Oh my god, this is so creepy. Oh my, this is so Oh. I don't like this background. Oh my god, I feel uncomfortable. The girl standing before me had skin of the purest white, yet that beauty was irrevocably tarnished by the violent streak of crimson across her neck. I almost wanted to believe it was some sort of a necklace, but no, the jagged pattern was unmistakably the scar that the decapitation would create. Looking back on things later, I would be able to say that this was where it all began. Oh, so this is like the bugs, like we have the perspective of Ren, but the Ren like from future is telling his story. Our main protagonist is alive in the future! Red! It's truth! Oh no, wait, it's not Mineko. Or is it? So she's a witch, and this is the red truth. I will go with that. Does my present live up to your expectations? Zaratsuh. What kind of name is that? Zarathustra. Okay. Who's Zarathustra? Does my present live up to your expectations, Zarathustra? Who said that? She's Zarathustra? Or it's the person that she referencing, like we are like him. So Zarathustra is him. Huh, I wonder. And thus we met, brought together by him. Okay. By him. Oh, shit! Chapter 1. Linfentinde something. Can I check the... How do I check... Save? Oh no, I don't see... Oh, that sucks. I don't see what kind of chapter I'm in. I couldn't read that. That was hard to read. Ah, I'm sad. Okay, it was dark out by the time I got home. Okay. I had almost passed out at the museum earlier. I managed to make it back, okay. But I still wasn't feeling too hot. So Kasumi, did she saw her or not? At least, it was consolidation that Kasumi wasn't the type of person to get upset about having to deal with stuff like this. However, on the other hand, also let's see this. Okay, that's pretty nice room. Oh my god, what? Oh my god, is this the reference to like some other of their games? Let me know in the comments, I need to know. Holy fuck. It must be like self-promo, right? It says Paradise Lost. It looks like it's like another visual novel. It looks like it's another visual novel. Let me know in the comments if this is real or not. Is it their games or it's like someone else? And they just like promoting that. Huh. Is it a good one? Maybe it's a good. Maybe I should read that. However, on the other hand... What do you mean? do we like propose you to stay here for over a night or something? That also meant that she was the type to fret endlessly. My current goal was to figure out some way to make her leave me alone. If I didn't, she was liable to try to spend the entire night here, watching over me or something.
辛いなら横になったら
Oh, okay.
私おかゆとか作ろうか
I just realized she actually left the jacket, so this is just her like normal attire now. Okay.
いいよ別に大丈夫もう寝るからお前も帰れ
I knew that she was just trying to help. I still couldn't really think straight after what happened earlier. I probably came across as harsher than I intended.
別に俺虚弱体質ってわけじゃないし怪我はとっくに治ってるから病人扱いするなってあんまり心配されてると本当に気分がめいってくる
うんでも今日誘ったのは私だしなんか責任感じちゃうしレンちょっと頼りないし
お前さりげなく失礼だな
She did have a point, to be fair. I wasn't the type of person people looked to for help.
頼りがいのあるお前が俺に付き合って倒れたら困るだろだから
私そんなにやわじゃないよ
俺もそんなにやわじゃないよだいたい俺を気遣ってるなら不毛なやりとりに付き合わせるなよただでさえ明日から学校行くのが億劫なのに
あそうだったダメだよレン
今日サボったやつに言われてもな
Yeah.
私はいいのちゃんと毎日通ってたから1日くらい平気だよでもレンは入院して多分日数足りてないんだからね留年しちゃうよ怠けてると一緒に卒業したいもんねね、
そうだな
よしだったら早く寝る
Are they like in high school?
だからさっきからそう言ってるだろ
Like, how old are they?
ごちゃごちゃと
うるさいなこの不健康児は
I
口
would,
答えするんじゃないの
I would assume like 17 maybe? To have like just like middle way of the high school somewhere? Kashami threw some sheets on top of me. Surely there were less direct methods of getting someone into bed.
じゃあおやすみ明日起こしに来るからね
それはいいけどおいかすみちゃんと玄関から出ていけよ
What do you mean? How did she leave normally? What the fuck?
うーん
What's happening?
おい
Did she think she could just get away with anything just by laughing it off?
それはちょっとめんどいなとか
What do you mean? It's just walking through the door. What the fuck?
普通はその面倒なことが常識なんだよだいたい
I gestured to the wall next to me and cited.
いい加減大家に怒られるぞいくら隣同士だからって
Oh, they are going through... Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? What the fuck is that? Wait, did she... Oh my god. Is there a hole in the, like, wall or something? What is this? Chan. I think this is small. Yeah. So this is Chan, I think. So this is Kasumi-chan? She would be in the deep shit if the landlord found out that she had knocked out a goddamn hole in the wall and turned it into some sort of a corridor. Genius! I thought like she's like jumping through the balcony outside like normal anime neighbors would do. But no, she just created a tunnel in the wall. What the fuck? Never saw that. Like that was the sort of thing people got kicked out for. Kasumi and I had moved into this apartment together. when we enrolled into our current school. It took her less than a week to come up with the idea to construct this little side entrance.
でも同じアパートの隣に住んで助け合うってのが一人暮らしの条件だったし、いいじゃない。この方が密にフォローできるんだから。
けどな、親もまさかここまでやってるとは思ってないだろ。
Yeah.
絶対に。
そうかな。
そうだよ。
頭固いな。だいたい事の発端はシロなんだし、私に言われても困っちゃう
How
よ。
he started that? All I know about Shiro is that he beat the shit out of us in the previous episode. And he has some weird, like, way of viewing the world. Believe it or not, she wasn't lying. Kasumi, Shiro, and myself had all lived together in this apartment complex. All 3 rooms next to each other in a row. Oh, okay. It happened late one night, out of nowhere. Shiro broke down the wall separating our rooms and barreled in here with a hammer, still in his hand, saying he suddenly got an urge to play with me in a fighting game. How stupid he can get. Yeah, that's when he got beat up?
で、何を土地狂ったか、お前も真似したんだよな、ごて。
私はハンマーなんて野蛮なことはしてないけどね。
What did you use? She was barbaric enough to go down to the hardware store the next day and buy a power saw, some tarps, and a mask at least. Okay. How no one heard? How landlord didn't, like, saw this? I guess, like, landlord wasn't just around. And they just, like, do this, like, in secret. Yeah, makes sense. Because it's not necessary that landlord is living in, like, this complex. I assumed he is, but apparently not. Anyway, as I had a bad fortune to live in between those 2 idiots, I ended up with holes on both sides of my room. Privacy? What's that? Kasumi and Shiro would often just cut through here to visit each other. Oh my god, this is amazing. What the fuck? And my room became some sort of the natural gathering place in general.
せめてシローの穴だけでも塞がせろよ。
ダメよ。戻ってきたらどうするの？
I don't care. There was no what if. She was never coming back, whenever Kasumi knew it or not.
きっとまたみんな元通りになるんだから。私とレンとシロとで。ね？レン？
だな。
じゃあおやすみ。
Okay, Kasumi. Kasumi smiled sweetly and returned to her room, through the hole in the wall, of course. I could tell by the complete lack of dust in my room that she had bothered to clean it while I was stuck in the hospital. Probably she used too. I would never admit it out loud, but I did appreciate the consideration. At the same time though, I couldn't help but wonder if I really deserved having her look after me like that. Kasumi knew nothing. By all rights, right now, we should have been... Should have been what? Should have been what? Am I missing something? Or they do this intentionally? Maybe I missed something. Did I miss something? Am I supposed to know that? This line of thought would get me nowhere. I decided right then and there to stop mulling over the past. What was done was done. It wasn't healthy to keep obsessing like this. And there she is. The ghost lady from the guillotine. The Justice. Maybe I will call her Justice. Because she's like from the guillotine Justice. I think that's fine. Fine name. There was no way the girl I saw in the museum could have been real. She was just a hallucination, meaningless clutter that was born from my unstable mental state.
そうさ。
Yeah. That was the only explanation. I lay down on bed. A good sleep night would be sure to wash away the memory of today. I wouldn't remember a thing when I woke up the next morning. I was sure of it. I stared up at my ceiling. For the first time in 2 months, amid familiar sounds, I drifted off into sleep gripper by the slight unease, rather than a sense of comfort. Okay, more red in like static. Now then, let the curtains rise on tonight's grand guignol. You also let me know in the comments that that thing was the French theater or opera, something like that. I don't remember correctly now. I will have to check, but you let me know that in the comments. Thank you. It's like opera or like theater, like from France, I think. This... Oh, something happening. Oh my god. Why we have guillotine? What is this dream? This... A pleasure to make your acquaintance, my dear Zarathustra. Okay. I am but a humble jester, come to present you with an opera. The art style, holy fuck, I had chills on this. This looks high and amazing. Consider me now more than the swindler, a charlatan. My name? I suppose Cagliostro shall suffice. I heard that name. I don't remember who exactly he was, but I know him like from like history in general or something similar. Yeah, I heard that name, but I'm bad at history in general, so. Do allow me to regale you tonight with the tale of a girl I met while men still called me by that name. So she meant the... Okay, so she called, like, him is Cagliostro. The ghost girl called us like I am like him. So she meant like we are like Cagliostro. And this guy is calling us, Ren, Zarathustra for some reason. So we are Ren and Zarathustra. It's like second name for Ren, I guess, in this game. I think that's the case. The tale of the fair princess of the guillotine. The tale of her origins, as well as how the two of us came to meet. I begged of you to forgive my brevity. It all came about as a result of simple bad luck, nothing more and nothing less. Humans are bound by their birth. The average man cannot hope to compete with an absolute brute, about by sheer chance at birth, regardless of his foibles or virtues. My story deals with such the circumstances. Unfortunately, there are many who fail to grasp the subtleties of these matters. Allow me to apologize for beginning by airing some tiresome grievances of mine. This guy have awfully a lot of time to telling us all of this. I guess it takes like just a few minutes in our head. The less reasonable among us have a tendency to seek an explanation for anyone who they perceive as breaking the mold, be they a mighty hero, a blithering madman, or a miserable victim. Did they reach their status through tireless effort? Perhaps because they possessed a rare resolve. Or could it be because of some traumatic event in the past? Perpetuous assumptions, the lot of them, is all nothing more than self-projection on the part of the common man, an expression of the fanciful idea that they too could have turned out this way, that they too are capable of reaching the same level should they be granted the same opportunity. Such sentimentals are little more than masturbation, pitiful attempts to drag the supernatural down to their level and reduce it to something they are capable of understanding. Miserable knives? Naves? What is this word? A lot of them. They are incapable of cherishing the fellow man without forcing them themselves to believe that all others operate on the same logic as them. Such fools would be better off conversing with a mirror. I'm sorry. You will no doubt find tonight's story unpleasant, but I trust that your soul is not tainted enough to imitate the folly of lesser men. In this world, there exists beings for utmost purity. Yes, I speak of her. Search the entire universe, and you shall find no peers. Oh, the ghost lady. Justice. From the moment of her birth, she was complete. She did not, and would never receive even the barest mite of influence from the vulgar outside world. So she was like, keep hidden in like palace or something for all the time. The scar on her neck, ever flagrant. Her wounds pregnant only with hex. Fated to remain forlorn, doomed to never be loved. And without love it cannot be seen. Even an existence such as mine could not complete with a being as miraculously immaculate as her. For the first time, I laid eyes upon the true beauty. I clutched her hand to my chest, overcome by the nature of her being. Ah, how wonderful was man to bring forth something so spectacular by mere chance. I knew immediately, on some primal level, that hers was not a state of being that others could hope to aspire to. One could devote his life to unraveling the mysteries of dusty grimoires, and never so much as set foot upon the mystic plane that was her dominion. What is this, Umineko? Again? She was absolute in her otherness. I must confess, I found myself envious of her. Did you kill her? I'm sure you scoff at the very notion, of course. I can say that meeting her... Oh, wait, this is down now. Oh no, I thought like it's... Wait, it is down! Yeah, it's a different spot. Guillotine's down. It just fall. I can say that meeting her was the only one true moment of brilliance to be found amongst the miserable order of my life. In a way, it represents loss on my part, yet defeat has never tasted sweeter. I finally discovered a goal to strive towards amidst the endless expanse of the wasteland that I had wandered aimlessly for so long. I shall kneel before you, my beloved queen. I shall devote my very being to you, to the task of leading your soul to salvation. That shall be my opera, the Day of Wrath. That's what the guys from the 45 mentioned. The Germans, the magical German soldiers, the Nazis. Because it was 45, so they were and they had like Nazi like crosses and stuff. The Day of Wrath. And they said that the time is until the Day of Wrath. So the day when she died is the Day of Wrath? Huh. Okay, the Day of Wrath shall rend asunder the accursed ghetto that is this universe. Come now. It's time to take the center stage, Zarathustra. Take her hand and lead her in dance. I would like nothing more than for you to dazzle me. Yeah, he definitely talks to us as Zarathustra. Suddenly, I heard the sound of waves crashing against the shore. Okay, now we have nice dream for once. That's pretty nice view. I found myself standing on the mysterious beach, bathed in the crimson hue of dusk. It was a place far removed from the hectic favor of the city. I could hear nothing but the quiet murmur with the waves and the sporadic chirping of birds somewhere in the distance. The scenery around me possessed a fleeting beauty, one brought about by the sea sun as it melted into the contours of the distant sea. This was the sort of sight that would normally vanish in an instant, but somehow I knew that here it would persist eternally. That was a moment frozen in time. Half of the sun had already sunk beyond the horizon, but the remaining half would never budge. The waves continuing to roll in and out were surely governed by something older than the tidal force I was familiar with. Suddenly I understood this was a dream. Yeah, now you realize, I guess, yeah, it's like pretty hard to realize in dream that you are dreaming. So yeah, okay, good job, you actually realized something. Because I probably would not. I would just wake up and like be like, what the fuck. There wasn't a beach like this anywhere near Suwahara City. Hell, it didn't even look like it somewhere in Japan. I had set off in foreign soil, set foot on a temporal plane far removed from the present. It would seem that I understand the nature of this place on an instinctual level. By all means, I would have felt some sense of bewilderment being confronted with so surreal a scene, but I simply found myself captivated by it. There was a certain nostalgic atmosphere about this place that spoke of me. No, maybe what they drew me in was the sense of the stagnation. That was the world frozen in time, possessed of the beauty of the everlasting sunset. The very concept of the flow of time was meaningless here. Eternal twilight, decored by the sun, also twilight. Okay. Last episodes, I was thinking about Muramasa all the time. Now I'm thinking about Umineko all the time. Great! Why all the novels are connected? Decorated by the sun, that would never drip below the horizon. This world existed on the border between day and night. Its very existence, a precarious reverie fallen between the cracks of reality. I felt truly at peace here, within the concentrated moment. I sat down on the beach, absently staring out at the sea and listening to the waves. I found myself overcome with a peculiar sense of déjà vu. Even though I had never laid eyes on this place before, it was like I was already deeply familiar with it. So, the Kali guy is like fused with him or something. Like his soul entered him. Like we saw people like absorbing souls. So did they chose him or something? Like he got like reincarnated within him, maybe, or something. Maybe not reincarnated, but he like possessing like or like entered his soul. Obviously, this was all just a dream, but it was a pleasant feeling nonetheless. Knowing what you are dealing with in advance means that you can handle anything it might throw your way. Freak knowledge makes it possible to avoid dangerous situations and prolong pleasant ones. To make better, more meaningful decisions, what could bring about a greater sense of peace? Yes, my ideal word was knowing everything in advance. Yep. He said that in the previous episode. Going around in circles and until the day you die. Was that your heart desire? Yeah, pretty much. She cut across my line of vision at nearly the same time as I turned around. The ghost lady? There she is. There she is. Oh, the side profile! I see. And the neck. So this is the version that actually is like cut down. I wonder if there would be like version of her without the cut. For the first time, Is she like going like are they these two like this guy and her are like inside his mind now for some reason? For the first time, I knew what it meant to have your breath taken away. The word that immediately came to mind was enchanting. I felt certain that anyone who came across this girl on the beach would be stunned in the same way I was. She was outfitted in a shabby worn-out dress. No one could call her attire elegant, but on her it exuded radiance that women of high society could never hope to attain, or even the most extravagant formal wear. Formal wear. Ah. It didn't went too much up. Her long hair, emanated an auburn aura, lit up by the dull red glow of the setting sun as she danced across the wet sand on the beach. The stark white angles peeking out from the hem of her dress offered a sharp contrast to the warm colors of the world around her. So, is she pale as corpse? That's what he mean? Or she's just like just pale in general. She turned to face me, emerald eyes gleaming with a gentle light. I couldn't take my eyes off her. She was like the gemstone cut into human form. As I stared, she began to sing, a ghost of a smile playing across her face. I could only give myself onto the song, and to the sweet refrain brought forth by her heavenly voice. Wow! I really like shadings and like coloring in the CGs. Okay. The words. This is Latin, I think. L'enfant de la punition suddenly flashed through my head. I didn't know what those words mean or why they came to me now. Her song was a melody unfamiliar to me. However, I felt certain that it was some form of prayer, perhaps a hymn unbeknown to all but her. The girl before me was utterly pure, removed from our base world. How could a melody spilling forth from her lips, from the lips of being so immaculate, be anything but a prayer? Was it possible to listen to a song you had never heard before within a dream? I didn't know, but there was no sense in pondering such questions. She was beautiful, plain and simple. That was enough to make everything else seem... Oh, what's happening? The good dream is just like getting over, what the fuck? Something felt vaguely out of place. Was I overlooking something important? Oh, he didn't show the scar, I guess. Because he never mentioned that. He's so focused on like her singing and her look in general that he didn't like look at the scar, I guess. And now he will be like, oh, for fuck's sake, she just lost her head. The stirring of emotion I had felt up to that point dissolved. Listening with a clear head, the lyrics of her song began to form intelligible sentences. I had been a fool. Okay, so it's something about the song, I guess, then. For Japanese history, twilight, the borderline between day and night, had been regarded as the time when the border is between the natural and supernatural routine. I heard that. Yeah, I know that. I heard that before. Twilight was the inhuman walked among the living. All along, this girl had been mad.
七七七
血が欲しい。
Okay, so she's crazy beautiful lady. Great. Well,
ギロチンに注ごう飲み物を。ギロチンの渇きを。欲しいのは血。
that's creepy. She continued singing, the same smile as ever adorning her features. Her emerald eyes were as clear as the surface of the pristine lake, without trace of the malevolence to be found. Which was precisely why the scene before me was so horrifying. She possessed a childlike innocence, in jarring contrast to the utter profanity of her accused song.
血が欲しい。
Her song reverberated inside my head, splitting itself into seemingly endless echoes as I stared at her, with a glimpse of the crimson band around her neck, through her dishevelled hair, unmistakably the work of the guillotine blade. Yeah, pretty much.
欲しいのは血。
That was the same girl I met in the museum. Yeah, you saw like the ghost lady, and now she's like, great, you should not go there. Now you are possessed by some crazy girl who died back like 18 centuries ago. The cursed girl who had met her. The cursed girl who had met her end by the guillotine. Oh, L'Enfant de la Punition. The damned girl.
血が欲しい。
Okay. I was assailed by the sudden brutal impact, as if it had been hit by the semi. My vision went black. What the fuck happening? In the next moment. Oh shit! Why we are back here? Oh my god, what's happening? I found myself in the midst of the turbulent crowd, gathered around gallows set up in the center of the plaza. A torrent of sheer delirium, fueled by the fear and hatred, and the dark elation consumed everything. The scenery around me, little than churching chaos, a deafening chorus filled my ears. Jevex la sang, and sang. Blood, 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 it wants blood. Donos le sang the guillotine, shower the guillotine with drink. Por guerrilla sacerese de la guillotine. May the guillotine's tryst be quenched. Jevex still sang, and sang. What it wants is blood, blood, blood. The frenzied crowd was singing the same song that I had heard only moments earlier. Back in the time period when public executions like this were commonplace, it must have been a hymn they offered before the guillotine. So are we in the crowd looking at her dying now? What is happening? The elites, the clergy, and the common man had come together, all for the simple purpose of seeing a criminal decapitated before their eyes, to see my head fly from my shoulders. Oh wait, it's him! I thought like we are like in the crowd, like below and looking like at the guillotine. But we are like actually at the guillotine. Wait, what? Okay. Okay. That's right. Do not ask me why. But the criminals trapped to the guillotine was not other than myself. Next to me, some sort of the official was calling out the crowd, speaking a language I didn't recognize. It would seem he was recruiting a volunteer to act as the executioner. Was that a thing? Let me know in the comments if that was like a thing actually during these times. Was like someone from the crowd like actually like started the guillotine? That was not like official like executioner for these things? It was like a job? I thought it was a job. It wasn't long before a man emerged from the crowd, released the guillotine blade, and my head And then you should wake up instantly, basically, because you're sleeping. Tumble to the ground, bathed in the queer tones of the eternal task. My spine was severed in an instant, inducing ataxia, but my ability to feel pain had been lost along with the connection between my brain and the rest of my body. I could do nothing but stare at my headless body as the spell forth blood. Ah, my heart was still beating. I wanted nothing more than to extend a hand to my body, but that was impossible now.
Chi.
All I could do was lie on the ground, listed to the abominable refrain. That was bizarre night. I jolted out of my bed, only find that it was already light outside. I immediately reached to my neck. It was of course still attached to the rest of my body.
夢か。
Yeah, pretty much. I slumped down. Dream or not, the experience was not laughing matter. It was just a bad taste. And above all else...
ねえちょっとどうしたのよ。
Oh, she crawled through the wall again. Great. I wasn't very happy about the fact that Kasumi, who was stuck into my room, like on daily basis, had just seen the whole thing.
うなされてたよ。大丈夫？やっぱりまだ怪我の具合が。
Also, I just realized we didn't saw their like school outfits, right? Oh, we saw the school outfit for Shiro. It's different. It still looks like the standard like Japanese outfit for school, but it's a bit different. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been released from the hospital if I hadn't made a full recovery, so this dream had nothing to do with my injuries. It was nice that Katsumi was so worried about me, but if I didn't make things clear now, she would end up driving us both to ruin.
デリケートなんだよ、俺は。枕が変わってうまく寝つけなかっただけ。
Nice save.
あと、人の寝顔をジロジロ見てる変態がいたせいだな、うなされてたのは。
Yeah.
それ私のこと？
Obviously.
他に一体誰がいると？
Nice.
何この恩知らず。そんなこと言ってるともうご飯作ってあげないよ。
I like their interactions. No more meals. Kasumi gave me the exaggerated glance, shaking the kitchen knife she had brought from her room back and forth. Why are you near my bed while I'm sleeping with the knife in your hand? That should never happen. Now I'm scared of my life. We should like take care of this hole. No wonder I had the nightmare. Who wouldn't? If there was a crazy person holding a knife staring at them while they were asleep. Exactly my thoughts. At least, that was what I tried to tell myself.
危なっかしいからしまえよそれ。俺の前でそんなもんちらつかせないでくれ。
Yeah.
それはあんたの部屋に包丁がないから悪いんでしょ。まったく少しはその辺感謝して多少の約束をくれたっていいじゃないの。
約束？
What is she going on about?
レンの寝顔可愛いんだなこれが。
Oh, shut up.
起きたら小生意気なんだけどね。
I began to seriously considering wrapping her in the blanket and throwing her out of the window. That would be funny.
抱きしめて唇
Wow, you are so close.
この女。
Why hair? Wait, what? I'm not supposed to consider embezzling hair and stealing a kiss? Is it a mistranslation? What do you mean? Wait, what? What do you mean? What? Oh, hair as face. I see, okay. I was thinking about person and I was like, what's happening?
図星
Oh my god, the face! The face! Oh, I read your mind. Oh my god, she thought that we want to steal her keys. And we thought about taking her out of the window. Oh my god. Kasumi, you're so wrong.
そんなわけあるかよ。とにかく朝飯なら勝手にキッチン使っていいからさっさとしてくれ。
はーい。なんかレンって意外に亭主関白臭いよね。
Kasumi headed off the kitchen, still waving the damn knife around. I really needed to look into closing up the hole in the wall. Yeah, do that. That said, her morning antics had done a good job of helping me forget about that horrible dream. I was grateful for that, Liz. It was 27:20 AM. Kasumi and I sat at the table, about to get started on the rice, grilled fish, miso soup that she had made. Truly a Japanese breakfast, if I had ever seen one. It was about 30 minutes from our apartment complex to school, so right now we could afford to spend 10 minutes eating, 10 minutes cleaning up, and 10 minutes getting ready.
あく、ウィリン遅いからへ。
Speaking with full mouth, it seems, is worse than good English from Little Busters. I'm literally unable to decipher this thing. Or maybe I can. Wait. You can try and decipher this with me if you want. You can pause the video and try to decipher this. Maybe we can do this together. You farm a funda clear? What? I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
は
Said, as I said. Oh wait, I can like actually try to think. Oh wait.
あく、ウィリン遅いからへ。
I think it's something about room.
あく、ウィリン遅いからへ。
Okay, I cannot make it out even from words. Kasumi took a sip of tea, washing down the rice that had been stuck in her mouth. Had anyone ever taught that girl that first thing about manners?
制服、クリーニングしといたからね。
Really? That's what you asked? Holy fuck.
ああ
Did you get it right or like some words at least? Let me know. If I'm more reserved, it had been covered in blood and dust in addition to being ripped all over. Our uniforms were made from the white cloth, so it would have been hard to miss.
クリーニングでよく片付いたな。新しいの買おうかと思ってたのに。
Yeah, they will.
うん、そう言うだろうと思って注文もしといたけど、新品が来るまでちょっとみっともないけど、これで我慢しなさいね。
Kasumi placed the folded uniform that had been lying next to her onto my lap. I opened it up to find that it had been patched together here and there.
何その顔。
いや、もしかしてこれ、お前が
Yeah, probably.
悪いかこの文句あるか。
Oh my god.
文句は別にないけどさ。
While Kasumi cooking was more or less edible, her sewing skills left a lot to be desired.
まあ、
Okay.
ありがとう。あとは冬だし、ずっとコートでも着てりゃいいかな。
So no one will see this. Oh my god, he's so good.
授業中もそれって校則違反じゃない？
Oh my god.
固いこと言うなよ。病み上がりなんだ、俺は。
昨日は病人扱いするなって言ったくせに。
Yeah, but I didn't have your patches before. Kasumi shot me a glare, then proceeded to begin chowing down the single tarak on her plate.
辛い。
I like spicy. Do you like spicy? Let me know. Well, of course it was.
っていうかお前、それ2人で分けるんじゃないのかよ。何一人で丸ごとトライしてるんだ。
Also about spicy. I never knew that actually. That was news for me. I've been on my like bit of like Japanese lessons recently because I like started again. Like continuing stuff that I like kind of like stopped for a while because I had no time and stuff. And I was talking with the person that's teaching me about like Japan because she's from Japan. And apparently like you have like wasabi, you know, the hot stuff that you get with sushi. Like in my country, when you like get the sushi, you always have wasabi served like next to sushi, so you can always like pick some, put this on sushi, and you can eat it together. And apparently in Japan, wasabi is inside the sushi. It's never like outside. It's either like with wasabi or without wasabi. Apparently that's how it works. I don't know if like there are cases when it's like served outside of sushi, but I don't think so. I think it's always either inside or not. So yeah, that's like some fun fact about Japan. Also, apparently noris in my the nori that are sold in like shops here are bad. And there's so many like different types of nori, and in Japan like nori is way better apparently. So yeah.
やかましいわね。あんたには絶対やらない。これうちのお母さんがくれたんだからね。
Okay. And so she began nibbling on her tarako, without even using rice to soften its taste.
辛いよ。
You don't like it and you still eat it. Okay. She looked like she was about to burst into
お
tears.
前頭大丈夫か？
Why your mom would give you the spicy food if you cannot eat spicy food? How does it make any sense? She probably knows you don't like spicy food. What the fuck?
大きなお世話です。
She turned her whole body away from me in her chair. She apparently had no further intention of speaking with me. Not that I really would give a shit. It would have been nice if she could stop mumbling stuff like "so spicy, but so good." While acting like that though, it was kind of creeping me out. Since Kasumi had retreated into her own little world, I found myself without anything to do. We ate breakfast. I decided to check out what was on the news, which had been playing on the background this whole time. Unfortunately, there wasn't much that caught my interest. Mostly just the unusual about weather or whatnot. And for the average citizen like myself, even the sensational news about corrupt politicians and celebrities having affairs wasn't really that exciting or relevant. Since there was nothing interesting on TV, I decided to see if Kasumi had decided to stop acting like a child yet. But right when I was about to shift my focus back towards her...
死亡
Okay, who died? Whoa, hold on the phone. What did she just say?
昨夜遅く諏訪原市の公園で男性の他殺死体が発見され、同市警は殺人事件として捜査を。
Oh, someone got murdered in our city. Okay, that's piquing our interests. Wait, there had really been a homicide in Sumahara?
現在のところ通り魔的なものであるとの見解がなされており、それというのも被害者の頸部が切断されるという猟奇的な犯行であることから。
Okay. What an irony. We met the, like, guillotine last night. What the fuck?
凶器の断定はまだできていないとのことですが、おそらくは鋭利な刃物、日本刀、もしくはそれに類する刃渡り60センチ以上の刀剣であるという説が有力視されています。
Okay.
なお、被害者の男性は諏訪原市の会社員生野健二さん24歳であり、死因は頸部の切断による。
What the fuck? Whoa, did she knew him? Kenji Ikuno. What's her last name? What's Kasumi's last name? Is it her last name? I started to transfix it at the news reports as they elaborated on the details, but the sound of the plate shattering shook me out of my trance. Kasumi must have dropped it. One could hardly blame her for being surprised. Here we were eating breakfast as usual, and all of a sudden, the news starts going all about to get gruesome details of the homicide. Suwahara City Park, the site of the murder, was a place most residents were very familiar with as well. So Kasumi's reaction was very normal. The details of the incident, however, were far from normal. Okay, so it's not someone she knew. They said that the cause of death was decapitation. So in other words, his head was cut off? If there was no other wounds on the body, then the act must have been carried out swiftly. Yeah, like basically taking him at night and just like by surprise, just sneak up on him and just like cut down. Maybe the culprit got the guy as they were talking by each other, walking by each other, or snuck up from behind. Yeah, exactly. Or they could have knocked out the victim first. I couldn't be sure of the exact details, but if the murder weapon was a sharp blade, like the newscaster had said, it seems safe to say that the victim had been barehanded in one clean strike, beheaded. You would need night superhuman strength in order to pull something like that off. The culprit could have been some sort of giant bodybuilder. The guy like that walking around with a katana or something would definitely attract attention. Yet, according to the newscaster, there was no reports of anyone suspicious in the area at around the time of murder. So what? Had they set a piano, wire trap or advice or something? I guess... maybe... would be. My hand shot my neck. Here, I was trying to come up with some realistic scenario to explain the murder. He's turning to butler. I'm sorry. More accurately, I was trying to come up with the explanation that didn't involve that. I was trying to avoid thinking about the implement that one couldn't help but associate with the beheading. Yeah, the guillotine. Okay. I had seen it at myself at the museum. Hell, I had even been at the dream involving it night before. The guillotine that had stood so imposingly amid the execution grounds in my dream. I could still remember it severing my head in vivid detail. I had woken up to find that someone really had been decapitated. Was it just a coincidence? Just something I could laugh off as not concerning me? After all, I had seen the same girl in both real life and my dream. It was already apparent that the boundary between the two was thinner than we thought. Good proof that what happened in the dream couldn't also occur in reality. Interesting. In other words, my dream had been... reality?
もう行こう。遅刻しちゃうよ。
Ha. Kasumi was right. It wasn't healthy to keep going back on unrealistic line of thought.
わかった。着替えるから部屋戻っててくれ。
Kasumi is on the bigger side.
別に照れなくてもいいのに。
うるさいな。それより。
はいはい。玄関使いでしょ。面倒だから嫌ですよ。とりあえず先に食器だけ片付けとくね。
Okay. Even our typical morning routine was somehow strained. Okay.
ほら、もたもたしてない。さっさと行く。
Okay, and now we are going to school, and I think this lovely trip we'll see in the next episode. Oh, wait, I just overwrite, like, some stuff. Okay, so, that will be it for this episode. That was crazy, actually. I really like the art style. Like, that was so good. And also, creepy. What a creepy dream. And after that, we had the guy that was, like, just beheaded suddenly. I have a theory now. So, let's make a quick theory. because it was a dream and stuff, what if Ren is like night walking and he had this dream, but in reality he went outside while sleepwalking and he just like killed someone? I don't know how he could like behead someone. Maybe he has strength. Maybe he just developed the scythe on his elbow that we saw in the opening, and he activated while being in the dream, and he went to this park and just like beheaded the guy. Maybe something like that. Because yeah, this ire is apparently supernatural and magic and stuff. So might be the case, and he's not aware of that. We'll see, I guess maybe in the next episode. And probably we'll see the girl that sent us on the date with Kasumi to the Museum of Blades. Maybe it's something related to her as well. Maybe she wanted us to find this guillotine. Now I think about this. Because she's from our school, so we're probably going to meet her. So yeah, that will be it. So I want to give a special thanks also to my channel members. Thank you all for supporting me. Thank you for finding me worthy. I hope you enjoy your perks that goes with being the channel member. And yeah, thank you for being with me. And yeah, I hope I will see you all in the next episode. Let me know in the comments what you all think. And for now, Pocket Watch is going out.